Hello, I'm Shelley from Mad Alice Theatre Company. Thank you for joining me for a story. And this story is called The Frog Prince, written by the Brothers Grimm, adapted by me. Once upon a time, there was a very grumpy and rude princess who had no good manners at all. Now, I don't want to make excuses for her behaviour, but one of the reasons she was so badly behaved was because she was bored and lonely. She had no brothers or sisters to play with, and she lived in the middle of nowhere in a huge castle. She was taught at home by a very stern nanny. Our princess could be anything she wanted to be, but she didn't enjoy any of her subjects, except for PE. She loved football. But her nanny would say, "Football is for boys, not for pretty princesses." But our princess did not stand for that. Whenever she could, she would sneak out into the gardens and woodlands surrounding the castle and play football with her favourite golden ball. She dreamt of playing for her country and one day winning the World Cup. She could do keepy-uppies, even balance a ball on her nose, and she was a firm but fair referee. But this particular day, our princess was more grumpy and bad-mannered than usual, because the one friend she did have, the beautiful Princess Kaylee, had gone to Mexico for the summer holidays. Our princess loved Princess Kaylee. And our princess's mum and dad, the king and queen, liked our princess being best friends with Princess Kaylee. You see, as well as being great fun, Princess Kaylee was very well mannered, and she had a very good influence on our bad-tempered, rude and grumpy princess. But our princess had not seen Princess Kaylee for weeks. She was really missing her. So, to cheer herself up, our princess was outside practicing her penalty shots when, no! She kicked the ball. It had soared way into the sky and then landed deep down into the garden well. Our princess was furious. She beat her fists against the well. Ow! That did not help. And she burst into tears. And as she started to storm off, a frog, who had been watching all of this, appeared.
What a tantrum! I've never seen the likes. Do you know what a fool you're making of yourself?
What? A talking frog, thought our princess. Oh, and how dare he speak to me like that? Go away, you ugly, horrid creature, she said.
I'll get your golden ball if you promise to be my friend and let me live in your castle. And if you promise to let me eat from your plate and sleep on your pillow. But you must say please and thank you.
Oh, no way! She could hardly mind have him near her all the time. Oh, and she would never lower herself to be friends with a frog. But, she thought, I don't have to keep my promise, especially to someone as unimportant as a frog. And frogs need to live near the water. And they aren't that clever. I promise, she said. Oh, please help me, you kind, sweet frog. Princess Kaylee would not have been impressed. Immediately, the frog dived down the well and in a flash was back with a golden ball. Oh, thank you so much, you sweet froggy frog, said the princess. And then she snatched the ball from the frog and scarped it as quick as she could back to the castle, the frog running behind.
Wait for me! You promised!
That evening, our princess came down to the dining room to have dinner with her mum and dad, the king and the queen. But on entering the dining room, she saw the frog waiting for her at the table.
Spaghetti arrabbiata. My favourite. Don't forget your promise, my dear princess.
Oh, how dare the servants let you in, you slimy creature, said our princess. When her mum, the queen, saw the frog, she fainted and had to be taken away to have a lie down. The king, her dad, on the other hand, wanted our princess to explain everything. When he found out that our princess had made a promise to the frog, he ordered her to keep her promise, reminding her that a promise is a promise and must never be broken. Our Princess Kaylee would never break a promise. Her dad, the king, also reminded our princess that one should always be kind to everyone. Never turn your back on anyone, especially someone who has helped you. So, reluctantly, our princess shared her spaghetti with the frog. But when it came to dessert, her dad, the king, had snoozed off. And so, our princess said to the frog that he could have as much of her cake as possible.
Don't mind if I do.
And as soon as the frog had taken a bite of the cake, our princess scarpered out of the dining room upstairs to her bedroom.
Wait for me! You promised!
But the frog overtook our princess on the staircase. So when she came into her bedroom, he was there.
This is a very comfy bed. I'll definitely get a good night's sleep here, dear princess. Remember your promise.
Absolutely no way are you sleeping on my pillow, said our princess to the frog. Oh, I could not bear to have anyone so cold and ugly as you sleeping at my side. And besides, she said, I'm looking after Princess Kaylee's sweet little doggy Hope while she's on holiday, and Hope is sleeping on my pillow. So you, Mr. Froggy, will have to sleep on the floor. And she shoved the frog off the bed. Princess Kaylee would not have done that. No, she would have let the frog sleep on the pillow next to Hope. But not our princess. She hid under the quilt, turning her back on the frog. But our princess could not sleep. She kept thinking about the frog and how cold he must be sleeping on the floor. And she felt really bad. She had been so horrid to him. But the thing was, she was so frightened of the frog, she just could not bear to have him next to her. And she knew it was wrong to break a promise. Princess Kaylee had taught her that. But the truth of the matter was, she didn't think the frog could stay away from water that long to live in the castle. Otherwise, she would not have made such a promise. And also, she thought perhaps the frog doesn't have many friends too. Then she began to cry. And the frog was upset too.
Dear princess, please, let me sleep on your pillow and be your friend. I know you are lonely. I'm lonely too and need a friend.
Our princess's heart began to melt. She said, well, we can only be friends if you like football.
Football? I love football.
Well, on hearing that the frog was a fan of football too, our princess bounced up and down on the bed with excitement. Hope barked with joy, and the frog leapt up onto the pillow. Well, our princess and the frog talked all night about free kicks, goal kicks, offsides, and who was the best centre forward.
Both of us, of course.
Eventually, they fell asleep at dawn. But on waking later that morning, the princess didn't find the frog on her pillow. She looked around, but she couldn't see him. However, there in her bedroom was a handsome prince. Morning. You probably don't recognise me. Thank goodness for that. I'm your football-loving frog, all cold and ugly. Don't worry, I forgive you. Do you know you snore like a buffalo? But I still like you. A fairy cast a spell on me because I was so rude and grumpy, and I've been living down that well for months. I have become more kind and friendly, but the spell could only be broken
if someone, as rude and grumpy as I used to be, was kind and friendly to me. Thank you, Princess. I think I've met my match.
Our princess was speechless, and that hardly ever happened. They became great friends. They understood one another, and they joked a lot together. Our princess was never lonely or bored again, because she always had someone to play football with, even when Princess Kaylee was away on holiday. Eventually, our princess married the prince. Princess Kaylee was bridesmaid, and our princess went to live with the prince in his castle, and they lived happily ever after. Her mum and dad, the king and queen, and Princess Kaylee would visit often, and our princess never stopped playing football. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. If you did, please leave us a comment in the box below, press like, share the story with your friends. So, until next time, it's bye for now.